Ordo Ab KO and Oscar Hoof, who's been off for, what, over 1,000 days. But Nicky Henderson's done this before.
Yes, he certainly has. He's more than capable of it. He did it with Beyond Conceit, who actually won earlier. He won earlier this season at Newbury. But the horse that I really like, Ordo Ab Cow, I think you pronounced it very well, Ed.
Thank you, mate.
Better than me.
Significantly better.
He's a horse who won several races for Alan King. I like him, but he's another horse who I spoke to Wayne Hutchinson. Said
he's as fit as a flea.
Yeah.
He's as fit as a flea, I tell
Wayne
you.
said he's a little bit keen. He might be a bit fresh, so don't be surprised if he's buried away.
Goggles down. There are the prices. Templeross, the 4-to-1 favourite. Richard Hoyles.
So they jump away, and Templeross actually is the first one to break the line here. 16 of them starting down at Swindley Bottom. Mr. Fizz in second place as they head towards the first of the obstacles. Divine Spear towards the outside. Here's Herbie and Does Your Dog Bite towards the inner. As they step over the first, Surname, who was walked virtually to the start, is held up at the rear of the field. A shortish run to the second. Templeross is sent into the flight of hurdles with a lead of over a length. Order Ab KO held up towards the rear of the field early on. So now quite a long run between flights 2 and 3. Templeross cutting out the running by 2 lengths from in second place Mr. Fizz. Third, Does Your Dog Bite in the orange colours, disputing that with Divine Spear. Kruger Mac comes next with Here's Herbie at Air Horse 1 towards the outside. Midfield for Prime Venture on the outside of Connor Tabler as they make the bend. Order Ab KO comes next with out wider Oscar Hoof, just preceded by Man of Plenty. And the back 3 include Wolfcatcher just ahead of Loop de Louvre, and at the back of the field is Surname. So that's the roll call as they've straightened towards flight number 3, and leading the runners. Templeross pops over it in the lead, and they all take it okay, although Oscar Hoof made a mistake in midfield. He was the one that flattened the obstacle, and it did cost him a length or two as they head on towards the fourth. So Templeross leading, attended by Mr. Fizz on the stand side, Kruger Mac over on the inside with Does Your Dog Bite right up the inner. Here's Herbie next from Prime Venture, Air Horse 1, and Mike Alisi with Man of Plenty, Connor Tab up the inside with Prime Venture. Order Ab KO towards the out inside of the track, and still at the rear of the field as they make their way in front of the grandstand. Surname, Loop de Louvre, after that error, Oscar Hoof, and also Wolfcatcher. They are still pretty tightly grouped, and Templeross has just been allowed to set an even pace, really, as they turn downhill, leading by half a length or so from Mr. Fizz, the outsider, Bundle Pickard in second place. Racing in third, Does Your Dog Bite, whose rider just gave him a little click down the neck there to try and hold that position, with Kruger Mac and Divine Spear. Divine Spear another, who was just nudged along for a moment or two by his rider as they turn downhill. Here's Herbie next from towards the outside, Air Horse 1, then Prime Venture. Connor Tabler being ridden along towards the inside as they take the flight moving away from the stands. Loop de Louvre and Surname still under tight restraint are still towards the rear of the field. Now these two flights are more strung out this afternoon than is sometimes the case, and Templeross is just being kept honest here by Mr. Fizz. Kruger Mac then towards the outside, Divine Spear. Still towards the inside, Does Your Dog Bite as they prepare to take the next flight of hurdles. Air Horse 1 is also in that little cluster with Here's Herbie moved towards the outside. Trying to improve is Order Ab KO racing on the inside as Connor Tabler made a mistake there as they stepped over that. Loop de Louvre and Surname are still towards the rear of the field. So Templeross's tenure of the lead was briefly taken by Mr. Fizz as they prepare to turn at the far end of the racecourse. Templeross just being shunted along, holding the inside. Mr. Fizz and then Here's Herbie out a little wider. Divine Spear with Kruger Mac, Air Horse 1 the grey. One that has made ground, Wolfcatcher, who's 4 wide into the turn ahead of Oscar Hoof, who, having made that error, has worked through back into midfield. Order Ab KO is also racing in mid-division with Prime Venture as the leaders still very tightly clustered head up towards the fourth last, but Does Your Dog Bite has lost his position on the inside and is being ridden along. Here's Herbie, Templeross, Mr. Fizz, Air Horse 1, they're all there with Wolfcatcher as well. Kruger Mac, Order Ab KO continues to improve, Green Jacket towards the inside, Does Your Dog Bite ridden along. The other King runner going okay, Mike Alisi wiped with the red hoop as they take their way, or the disc I should say, as they take their way over the third last. So here's Herbie on the outside for Lucy Gardner, Divine Spear for Ned Curtis. 2 young riders with a big prize potentially in their grasp as they head on the run towards the second last. Templeross, Air Horse 1, Prime Venture, Order Ab KO off this long absence, running a mighty race but was very short of room. You heard the jockey scream there in 6th place as he was squeezed out, Order Ab KO, as Mike Alisi comes round the outside. Surname from the back of the field, then Then behind these is Kruger Mac. So turning back towards the second last, it is Divine Spear in the pale blue. Templeross over towards the inside, then Air Horse 1 as they take the next. Here's Herbie's lost ground towards the outside. Air Horse 1, the grey, then Mike Khaleesi. In fifth place, Prime Venture, Ordab KO and Kruger Mac down towards the last. It's Divine Spear out in front, but Air Horse 1 throws down the challenge. The grey on the near side as they head towards the last. Divine Spear for Ned Curtis. Air Horse 1 for Noel Feely. Divine Spear put in a big leap, but landed with little momentum, and Air Horse 1 draws alongside. Air Horse 1, the grey on the near side, forges to the front by half a length from Divine Spear. Templeross and Prime Venture and Air Horse 1 will land the hat-trick for Harry Fry and Noel Feely. Air Horse 1 beat Divine Spear, close for third Templeross and Prime Venture involved there. Fifth for Mike Khaleesi, surname through beaten horses. Kruger Mac, here's Herbie. And then behind these, Man of Plenty, Does Your Dog Bite, Order Ab KO, who's a bit unlucky on the home turn. Mr. Fizz ran out of puff, Luke de Louvre and Connor Tabler, and last of all was Wolfcatcher. Air Horse 1.